Hi, and welcome to the SEO podcast, Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing. My name is Chris Burris, owner of eWebStyle.
I am Charles Lewis, your internet marketing specialist.
Welcome back to another fun-filled edition of our podcast. This is podcast number 275. That sounds like a lot.
It is a lot.
That is a lot.
It is a lot.
As always, we have a tip from our previous podcast, and that tip is find your top three best performing types of content and consistently produce new content using those types of content.
Yeah, definitely, because there's so many types of content out there, right? There's blog posts, there's articles, there's videos, there's infographics, there's newsletters, there's all kind of stuff, right? And so all of those types won't work for each client. They won't work for each type of service or each type of business. So find the three that work for you. It's usually going to likely be some sort of blogging, right? And maybe some white papers or some guides or something like that. Maybe some case studies. And so figure out what three types work for you, and then rinse and repeat and consistently do it over and over again. As a matter of fact, we'll talk about some more content today to help further that along.
Excellent. All right, so please remember, we are broadcasting from Houston, and we are your friendly local neighborhood top position snatchers. And our mantra is,
don't be a douche.
Don't be a douche. So we've got a good article today?
Got a great article. We're just talking content. So, man, punch in the face to Chuck Sharp over there.
Another Chuck?
Another Chuck.
Punch in the face from Chuck to Chuck.
Exactly. Got a great name. Over there, Marketing Land. 7 content.
So I bet his Twitter handle is not
at
Chuck.
No, it is not that. 7 content marketing tips for when you lack time and resources.
Okay, right.
And so, and I went through the article. It's a great article, and I wouldn't say necessarily if you lack time and resources, but just some great tips overall. Content curation. We'll talk about it.
Excellent. So if you are in a position to and have a device which will tweet, speaking of the tweets that we had earlier, so that's going to be either a computer or an iPad or a phone.
Some device where you can get on Twitter.
What should they tweet?
You should tweet it, or if you're watching, you see what to tweet. Hashtag SEO Podcast. This is number 275. Be sure to tag us in it. At Best SEO Podcast, at eWebStyle. That way we can follow you back and do all of our social networking stuff.
Excellent. All right. So we are running an ongoing contest. And that contest, or I don't know, is it a game? We'll call it a game. An ongoing game. And the game is if we get more than 10 new followers, harassers on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, either one of our G Plus accounts, we skip this next section. We did not get 10. We did get 7 new Twitter.
I had 7.
Yeah, new followers. So excellent. So what that means is the following section will actually occur today. Hey, if this is the first time you've listened to the podcast, welcome. Thanks for joining us. We're going to get to the meat soon. The potatoes is kind of fun. If you've listened to this podcast before, we're going to ask you to do a couple of things. And I'm actually going to start today with Stitcher.
Okay.
If you could go to Stitcher, and the easiest way to get to our Stitcher page on Stitcher is actually to go to our site, e-webstyle.com, and when you go there, you will see a Stitcher
right in the
link.
sidebar, click the Stitcher logo, take you to our Stitcher page. As soon as you get to that page, right at the upper right corner, it says write a review. Click that.
Make it 5 stars. Hey, my voice is almost all the way back. So yeah, Stitcher, because we've got a couple, apparently people on Stitcher are pretty brutal. And they had somewhat cause. They just expressed it, and they had absolute cause. They just expressed it in the wrong place. Most of the complaints are about us not being updated on Stitcher, which was entirely my fault. It just was not indicative of the quality of the podcast. Yeah. So next, if you could write us, go to our G Plus page, and we've made it incredibly easy to get to our G Plus local page. All you have to do is go to
e-webstyle.com/Google Plus
or
/Google Plus
or
/G Plus
or
/G Plus.
All of those will take you to our G Plus local page, and there's two things to do there.
First thing, put us in a circle, right? And let me talk about this for a quick second.
Okay, yeah.
The reason you want to put us in a circle, one, because we'll put you in a circle, but more importantly, as you begin searching and doing other things like that, content that we've published, if you're in our circle, then the content we've published, you have a higher likelihood of seeing when you search, and vice versa. And so put us in a circle, we'll put you in a circle, so that way we can start sharing content and find your content while we're searching the web. Second thing to do when you get to Google, leave us a review. Hopefully that review is 5 stars. You know, kind of.
You ramped into it. You were not committed going in. I sensed it.
And that's what we want you to do on Google Plus. Put us in a circle and leave us a review.
Excellent. Next has 3 steps. Go onto iTunes, create an account, write a review. Hopefully that review is 5 stars. There's the commitment.
Yeah.
And if you do write a review on any one of those, feel free, if you want to, write us an email, podcast@
e-webstyle.com.
and we'll read your review on air. We'll probably read it on air anyway. Next, there are lots of ways to hunt us and stalk us, as there are of many people. Facebook.com/
eWebstyle.
YouTube.com/
eWebstyle.
Twitter.com/
eWebstyle.
Instagram.com/
eWebstyle. I'm sitting there saying eWebstyle repeatedly, just thinking about that.
Yeah. We may be coming up with a name change here pretty soon for the company. So we'll be check out our Facebook page because we'll be putting some stuff out there here pretty shortly.
We'll drop some logos and some ideas and get some feedback.
Get some feedback. Yeah. Hey, if you're a PHP expert or if you're a WordPress genius, and potentially if you've called the number before and it didn't work. Submit an audio resume at 713-510-7846. That number is working now. I fixed it over the weekend. If you want a free website analysis, just go to our website, e-webstyle.com. You will find a link to our free website analysis. Go ahead and submit it. When you submit it, you're going to get confirmation because you'll also get on our newsletter list. Kind of if you want a free website analysis, you'll get on our newsletter list. And when you confirm it, you should get one more email that has a link that takes you to a details page where you need to enter those details so that you can get the complete analysis.
Yeah, we can do an effective analysis. We got to ask you some questions.
Yep. And we got Algo Cat today. I know this is our favorite segment of the podcast. It is the Algorithm Cataclysm.
Yeah. So this wasn't a huge cataclysm.
Right.
Because right now we're just feeling the residual tremors after the cataclysm.
Yep.
But it's still the week of mobile
this
gaming.
This is like a 3-week.
Well, and it actually is going to be longer than that.
Of course.
So dig this.
Oh, I didn't.
And Google released this statement saying that they confirmed the mobile-friendly update is live and it's rolling out. It's going to take some weeks because it hasn't hit every data center. And so some sites, you may see it and all of a sudden your ranking drops and then the next week it may be back.
Yep.
It's still rolling out. So, which is good news is if you haven't taken the time to make your site responsive or come up with a mobile version or make sure that the mobile user is having a great mobile experience on your site, then you still have time to do so.
Yep.
But you need to hurry up because it's already rolling out.
There's a quick way to check that too.
Yeah, it's a quick way to check, man. Google.com/webmastertools/mobile friendly. Test. You go there, put your URL in, and it takes about 20 seconds, and then it lets you know green, yes, you're all good. Red, you need to go fix these things. And so, yeah, you should
fix them fast. All right, I was talking to a prospect this week who was like, yeah, so he was reasonably happy with his site, and he shouldn't have been in general. And then I kind of pointed out Mopocalypse, and he was like, yeah, you're going to have a problem for mobile, and you are not mobile friendly. He was like, oh, okay. So interesting how things work sometimes. Well, you got anything else?
Well, I got some news.
All right, you got some news too. All right, let's go.
Okay, well, my news first. Let's go with so this almost could have been Algo Cat. So Google also released this statement that having video on your site, online video is a must for mobile marketing. This is from the mouths of Google. According to Google, online video is a must-have component for your mobile marketing strategy, stating mobile viewers are in fact more likely to watch, share, and feel connected to ads and branded video. Google's latest research also indicates that 50% of global viewership on YouTube comes from mobile devices. So literally, half of the people on YouTube.
I would not have expected that.
I do.
Yeah, right, and it's just how I use the device, and I've got another issue that's probably odd for me too, but
yeah, and so the have video on your site.
Yep.
is the statement.
Google just told you have video on your site. Yeah.
And so I thought that was pretty cool. And then my other news is for all.
By the way, guess what's coming soon to our site?
Oh, video.
Video.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah.
And my other news is for all those people like us who breathe WordPress. It was kind of vulnerable. You know, they've been releasing some back-to-back updates, and so they had a whole list of plugins that were apparently vulnerable had you not updated. And I wasn't going to cover all those, but I will cover the ones we briefly talked about here. Jetpack which I really didn't understand because that's a WordPress product.
Yeah.
Like, okay, WordPress, kicking the shin for that.
Yeah.
But WordPress SEO by Yoast, get it together. They already released a patch. Go make sure you update that.
That was 5 podcasts ago. Yeah.
All-in-one SEO. I've been using Yoast now. WP e-commerce.
Wow.
I know. Go update that. They released a patch as well. And WP Touch.
Wow. That's for mobile.
That's for mobile.
Yeah. It's a
but
good
now,
tool if you don't have responsive design.
Exactly. And so they have all of these plugins have released updates to cover the vulnerabilities, the security vulnerabilities that WordPress is referring to. So if you had those plugins installed, last time you logged into WordPress, you probably saw an icon that said update these.
Yep.
Update them.
Yep. It's a big text bar across the top.
And the last one, just because we are prime supporters of PPC here, Google posted their first quarter earnings, 17.3 billion.
First quarter, 17.3 billion. Wow.
Yeah. And then the asterisk under that said PPC spending was down.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right, a little bit of news. Mine is a little more general. One of them is happy 25th birthday Hubble Space Telescope.
Oh, wow.
Can you believe it's 25 years old?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Wow.
I remember being little. I
Yeah.
just remember being little hearing about that.
It's just 25 anything. Like, despite my age, haven't processed it yet. And this was interesting. So millennials, and this was talking about millennials and how they watch TV.
They don't?
You can thank, HBO, whatever they have it. They have like HBO Now, I think, which is where you can stream all HBO's content on devices on millennials. So apparently, and you know this, your kids are right there more. They'll watch TV on devices.
On the phone.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason to be paying cable for my children's room.
That's so wild.
I mean, she literally, and my oldest daughter literally sits in her room with the TV on, watching cable.
Watching
but she's
videos.
phones plugged in, earbuds in. She's looking at her phone. She's not watching the TV at all. And so
is she socializing, or is she
watching videos?
Watching
she's
also
just looking at stuff.
Yeah. And so this was an interesting concept, because think in general, how many channels do you watch?
8.
So you could go purchase 8 channels individually
and
almost be done. Like, the only reason you might add a channel, and this would be like come out with the most popular show, it gets a lot of news, and like, oh damn, I need to have that channel. So you add another channel, subtract another one. It's just an interesting way to watch, and it made the point about streaming. And for me, there's actually a little bit of satisfaction of sitting down, being brain dead about what I want to watch, and just like flipping channels to see what's on and stopping where it comes up. And so apparently millennials don't have that virus.
They don't have,
because I'll call it a virus, right?
They don't want.
They want to see what they want to see, because they've always gotten what they want to see whenever they want it.
Exactly. We come up under the let's see what's on.
Yeah, let's see what's on, because
that's what the remote is for.
Whatever's there is your option. Very interesting.
The times change.
I saw this. I'm going to skip that one. Amazon tests delivery to your car trunk. So they're doing. So imagine you work in the city, right?
Okay.
You're 72 floors up.
We outside at your car, dog.
Well, they're doing a deal with Audi, where they can give a code to the delivery guy. It's a short-term code, one-off code. So just make sure your trunk's empty. Yeah. They come up. They got the device to open your trunk, put your package in, close it, and I'll
send
pick up.
Notification, package delivered.
That's pretty cool. That was a little nerve-wracking. I see it in your face. You're a little uncomfortable with that. This is my what if I got a dead body in there, right? Like, that's...
Yeah, or some speakers, or some new J's. Or
anything that you forgot and is now great. Thank you for the delivery of toilet paper. I've lost my iPad.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, punch in the face to I Love What I Do Media. They did a great post on their timeline referencing us, so go check that out. You should find us. Punch in the face to those guys over there. Here we have 4 reviews that I've jotted down here. First one is on iTunes, and it is in fact 5 stars. SEO made entertaining. This is by Johnny Rocks from Australia. Good from Down Under. Just want to give these guys a punch in the face. They really deserve it. I've picked up so much valuable info from them. while being entertained at the same time. Keep it up, guys. And oh, can you share your views on whether a WP multi-site install is good for SEO? I have not done a WP multi-site.
Multi-site install is good for SEO. So I do know that. I don't think it matters that much.
That's like admin access. Yeah.
Exactly. As long as your directory structure is right and these sites aren't for some reason sharing pages or whatever, then you should be fine.
Yeah. I would think that's great.
Now I will say this, and I'm only saying this because I read this like a few days ago. If you're hosting with GoDaddy and you try to use GoDaddy's system to automatically install WordPress,
right,
there's a checkbox for multi-site. But ironically, right under the checkbox, they don't recommend it.
Oh, not recommended.
It's like, don't do this. You should do it from the admin side later. So then I was like, why the checkbox here?
If you can do it later, you don't need it here. Interesting.
So,
all right, next one is from G Play. Punch in the face to you, Mr. Johnny Rocks. Here we go. G Plus. This is Ben Reader. Does G Plus have? It has 5 stars. These are all 5 stars. Like they're happy with us. It says, love these guys, 3 exclamation marks. I've listened to their podcast since number 50. Yeah. And have
225 podcasts ago.
And have faithfully put up with the audio issue because of the great content. Punch in the face.
Yeah, you started at 50. Ooh, he came a long way.
130. He came through 130.
Oh. Was it 130?
I think it was 130 that was it?
I think it was 200 or 180.
180. Maybe, yeah, 180. Yeah.
180 was bad.
Yeah, so I've been an internet marketing specialist for several years, and these guys keep bringing quality information each week, which is always relevant to our industry. Keep up the good work, and know that you will always have me as a loyal listener. Mr. Ben Reader, punch in the face to you.
Punch in the face, dude. Appreciate it.
That's awesome.
Internet marketer. So you like an agency, or are you like in that role for a specific company?
Yeah. Hit us up. Let us know. And you know what? It feels really good to get kudos from people.
Other people in the industry.
You know, do-it-yourselfers. Yeah, it's fairly easy to help a do-it-yourselfer. And if you're in the industry and you do it full time, that's great. Kudos. Next, Gary Adams, punch in the face, and it is 5 stars. I love listening to the SEO podcast. They're informative, but also fun to listen to. Other SEO podcasts are so boring, they put me to sleep. So boring. These guys keep it entertaining. Keep up the great work, guys. We are the Red Bull of SEO podcasts.
Red Bull. We give you wings.
We give you wings and allow you to drive and listen to SEO information safely.
Yeah, we will not put you to sleep.
Do not operate heavy equipment while listening to the other SEO podcasts. And this is one for Stitcher, so a double punch in the face to A Dandy.
For following the rules and going to Stitcher. Appreciate
he went to Stitcher and he gave us 5 stars. I'm sorry. 4 stars. I don't know if I gave us 4 stars. The title is, these guys are awesome. I've only recently started watching this show, mostly on YouTube. The video quality might be a reason why it's 4 stars. Not much of the podcast person. And I find it educational and funny, which is the best way to learn about SEO. They give you great tips and keep you updated on topics dealing with SEO and other events. What separates this show from the other SEO shows is that they are very entertaining, always laughing, and are just easy to listen to. He's calling us the Rob and Big of SEO. Great show. Punch in the face.
Man, I used to watch Rob and Big. I haven't watched him in a long time. But
it's been a while, yeah. And that's what's up. That's A Dandy. So you got any more tips?
Nope.
All right. Then off we go on to...
So he gave us 4 stars? Yeah, probably will. So this podcast is recorded on Ustream and automatically uploaded to YouTube. And so there is some losses and some quality, that's not going. And
yeah.
So, yeah.
So if that's the reason, let us know, because we're actually
looking into some other alternatives.
A couple of other alternatives. So that is the potatoes of the podcast. Let's get into the meat.
Yeah. So like we said earlier, man, wanted to give a good punch in the face to Chuck Sharp over at Marketing Land. Put out the article 7 content marketing tips for when you lack time and resources. And I went through the article, and it's all about content curation. Right? He goes on to say, content curation is a great tactic for marketers without the resources to produce tons of original content. And he's absolutely right. Creating great content that has the likelihood to go viral, that people will share, that people will read and absorb, that has value, takes some time to create. And a lot of times most agencies don't have the resources to do so. Now, I will say this, content curation isn't, I wouldn't necessarily refer to it as a fallback because you don't have time. I just think content curation by default is just a great way to generate good content. We do it all the time. We're actually curating content as we speak. And so dig that. But the article is all about content creation. So we'll get into it. And what is content creation? And it's basically researching published content about what you want, and then you discuss it and publish it with your own meaning, right? With your own resources you've added to it. And it's not site jacking. It's not just taking someone else's content. It's not article spinning. It's none of that. It's actually taking someone else's content, researching it, breaking it down, adding to it, making it your own, and then publishing it because it's related to what you offer. Content curation. So with that being said, number one, he says, host content curation on your site and promote it in social media. What he's saying is that is your content, including your curated content, needs to live on your site and be promoted in social media. It'll increase the value, drive customer engagement, and hopefully push people down your sales funnel. At the end of the day, I totally agree, Chuck. Your site is home base, ladies and gentlemen. Don't ever forget that.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you're doing.
Bring them home.
Bring them home, right?
Yeah.
Your site is where your conversions happen. Your site is hopefully designed to complement your sales funnel. Your site is where your remarketing script is. Your site is where your social links are. And so all social engagement, all content marketing, all videos you produce, everything that you do off-site should point people back to the site, including your content curation. Make sure that you host that content here, especially since the guest blogging days are kind of
Google specifically said don't do it.
And if you do it, you better be extremely careful, extremely cautious, be very niche, and do it, cross all your T's and dot all your I's and make sure all your first letters are capital, in order to not get dinged. And so just play it safe and post that great content you created on your own site. Has more value there. Number two, he says add your insight, right? People want to know your take on the article. If you're just going to regurgitate what someone else has written, then you miss the whole point of content creation. And you're absolutely correct.
That's a novel idea. Wish we had thought about that.
He's absolutely right. If we're just going to sit here and take Chuck's article and just share it without telling you what I feel about adding your insight, like using our podcast as an example, then we would just be regurgitating. And so I'll take it a step further. Say more than just add your insight, but be objective. It's okay to play devil's advocate sometimes.
Yep.
Most of our listeners know if we come across an article and we don't like it, then we're going to say so. And we're going to tell you why. And we're going to give you some supporting details on why.
Right.
And so do the same thing as you're creating content, curating content.
Right.
Find these resources. Give your expert opinion. Better yet, your opinion on how that specific topic works with your business. That's how you tie it into your product, your service. And so that way you didn't just take this content, but you made it work for you.
Enhanced it.
You enhanced it.
Yeah.
Another good example of this, if anybody goes to church and you listen to preachers, they curate content.
Right.
They'll take someone else's sermon, rewrite it, add their own experience to it, their own lesson, and then go and re-preach it.
Yep.
It happens all the time.
Yep.
Number three. He says, give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
Great thing.
When
you curate content from another source, be sure to provide a link back to the original article and notate where it was originally written. He's absolutely right, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
You have to give credit. Like, don't be a douche.
Yep.
And go jacking someone's content and then don't give them credit for it. Yeah, don't steal and don't be a douche is what I'm adding here. And that's just internet. What's the word I'm looking for?
Etiquette?
Etiquette, thank you.
Yep.
Just internet etiquette, link building etiquette, man. Let's give credit where credit is due. Share the link love, and it'll come back and love you. So give the credit. Number four, he says, be mindful of straight syndication. Great tip, Chuck.
Yeah.
What is straight syndication? Well,
does it feel weird to say great tip, Chuck?
Yeah, it does.
I would think
I'm talking to myself a little bit.
Yeah.
He says, editorializing the content and taking the position in your blog post with the link to the original content is the best way to avoid over syndicating the content. So the problem is when you think syndication, just like TV, you get reruns, right? And then now these reruns are running on this channel, and next season these same reruns be running on that channel.
Some other channel.
And the season after that, these same reruns be running on that channel.
And in multiple markets. And
and you can be over syndicated. For TV, that's fine. For the web, that's a huge issue. And so
Dupe content.
exactly. So be mindful of just straight taking that content and repurposing it. You see it all the time. It happens all the time. How many times you've seen? I can tell who does it really, really well. Ironically, TMZ.
Right.
Something happens, boom, they'll retweet it, they'll post it, they'll share it on their site, or with no other content.
Yeah.
They'll literally just embed the same YouTube video that was on MSN on their site and post it. That's not a great experience for the Google user. That doesn't help. I've already read this video, saw this video, read this article, and I'm about to read it again, then you must give me a different opinion. You must give me some reason.
Follow-up, background, something
exactly.
that
or I'm not going to read it. I'm going to bounce, and I'm going to even comment that say, hey.
If you've seen it before.
If I've seen it before. Exactly. And if it's over-syndicated, then I probably have
seen it before.
Exactly. Especially if it's something popular or something viral, then if you want to take that opportunity because it's a buzzword, take advantage of it. But curate the content. Give it some supporting details, some facts, some alternative perspective that others may not have seen. And so that way, when they do land on your site and they do see that same video that they saw, at least they get a different perspective about it that's worth sharing, that's worth mentioning, that's worth commenting on, that's worth debating, frankly. Yeah, so be mindful of straight syndication.
And one way that you can actually push content to be a little bit viral or viral altogether is to be a little controversial.
Yeah,
right. So
definitely.
Here's a good article, and just have I'm gonna say have a concept or a thought about it that's from left field. It needs to be supportable, right? But if it's controversial in its indices, so we don't need to be like controversial talking about, I don't know, the Kardashians or whatever. You can have industry specific information that there's debates in your industry about, and you can see the standard article come out and then post information that's considered controversial to that subject matter. Put it out there, support it, support it well, but put it out there. It's more likely to get picked up by other people.
Well, and what controversial in regards to taking someone else's content and applying it to yourself and getting that, a good example would be Geraldo. Right. So some years ago when George Zimmerman murdered Trayvon Martin, everybody was, pro Martin and hating Zimmerman, and Geraldo, got out and was like, well, he shouldn't have been wearing the hoodie, which was extremely
really
controversial, and it brought a whole new spin on that same article, the same story that people had been watching. And he generated a whole bunch of likes, a whole bunch of buzz, a whole bunch of publicity because he was being controversial. And so if you're going to take something that people have already aware of and put your own spin to it, controversy can work.
So that kind of rules out my supportable.
Well.
And that's fine.
It's a different example. Be aware of, be mindful of straight syndication is the point we were making.
Yep.
Take some time to switch it up. Number 5, he says, marry curated content with your original content. Great tip, Chuck. He says, there isn't a perfect mix between curated and original content, since a lot depends on your industry and what resonates with your audience. He's right. I think the key is finding that happy place. There's a happy place between you curating content and you taking the time and the due diligence to write your own content.
Yeah.
You just have to find what works for you. Every company is going to be different. Every industry is going to be different. For example, if this is healthcare or entertainment, there's plenty of always new events and new stuff to write about. But maybe you're a plumber and the latest news is that the 40-gallon water heaters aren't being made anymore. Right?
Yeah.
Then there's nothing much more to talk about.
Yes, they are.
Exactly.
Controversial.
Yeah, exactly. And so it really depends on your industry. But if you're in the industry where there's frequent current events and things happening, then it may be in your best interest to have a higher percentage of original content. But if you're in a position or service or product where there's not much going on, then you'll probably have a higher percentage of curated content.
Yep. Just
kind of how it goes. Number 6. He says, become more sophisticated in your curation. Good idea. He says most brands start by just wanting to add content, like any content will do, and as they get more sophisticated, brands start thinking about the quality of the content. And he's absolutely right. Just like any site, oh, I just need content, I need content, I need content. And so you're just posting blog posts, you're creating articles because you're
Whatever's
just
out there.
trying to get stuff there. But then as you begin getting more traffic, as you becoming this leader in your area, well, your content needs to be a little bit more sophisticated.
As your audience starts to complain,
exactly,
it grows and complains.
Then you need to change. You need to move from just needing content to needing to be current content, right? Then you may want to escalate to having relevant and current content. Then you may want to escalate to being a leader of relevant and current content. And finally, you become the destination source for all this curated content. And so as your company grows, as your content marketing strategy expands, as you continue posting, don't forget to increase the level of content, the quality of the content that you're posting.
That's pretty cool. He has a nice graphic.
Yeah, great chart right here.
Through that, so
great chart right here. And then ironically, you know, the reach potential goes down from the beginning. When you just need content, you're just posting anything, you're not reaching many people. And so, yeah, great graphic right there. Become more sophisticated in your content. Consider this. Consider the changes in technology. Consider how your industry has evolved. Your content should do the same. You're not in the same place that you were 3 years ago.
Or in our industry, 3 months ago.
3 months, yeah, 3 weeks ago. You know, 3 weeks ago,
there was no
Mobilegeddon.
Yeah, Mobilegeddon. Which one is
it? Mobilegeddon. Yeah, we calling it. You know, it'll be
trouble for us.
Well, ironically, not because a lot of our sites passed the Google.
Yeah, we were gonna spoof and say so. Mopocalypse happened. That's why it's not that one. And all of our sites disappeared. That didn't happen.
And so. So yeah, be more sophisticated. And I'll say this: if you're in one of those dry industries that doesn't have many new events, look at your manufacturers. Right, one of our clients, he does a pool service. A great example of one of those industries where it's hard to just. It's only so many ways you can clean the pool. Yeah. Right, and so
scrub, scoop.
We ended up getting all types of brochures and content from her manufacturers and her distributors of the pool equipment and the products they use, so we can curate that content, come up with some spins on it, rewrite some, make it work for her specific business. And so if you're in that type of industry and you're just struggling to find a starting point, search your distributors, check your manufacturers out, because they likely have great content that you can curate. And the last one, and which probably should have been number 1.
Number 7.
Number 7, curate for the sales funnel.
Oh, yeah.
This is important. A lot of people don't.
That's almost like the overall theory as opposed to the details.
Yeah, curate for the sales funnel. And we talked about this a couple of podcasts ago, making sure that your site is designed in a way that complements your sales funnel. So, for example, your funnel may start with people needing to come to your location for a site visit. And after they get there, then that leads on to a proposal, which leads on to a meeting, which to probably a contract signing, or whatever your process is. Your content, your site, and everything else should complement that. And so if that is the starting point, then maybe your content should include phrases like, I don't know, see us in person, visit our lounge, come pay us a visit, or we love to see you. That sort of mentality, because that's where your sales funnel starts. It starts with that visit. And so you want to begin to put that thought in people's mind. So whenever they finally do convert, and you do contact them and ask them to schedule that appointment.
Convert from the website
Yeah, when they do convert from the website, when they do finally fill out a form, or they do call you, or they subscribe, or download, or whatever, and you finally talk to them, once you begin to invite them to come, they've already in the mindset to come, because your content was curated in that fashion. So yeah, create content that supports your sales funnel.
Punch in the face.
Man, Chuck Sharp, dude, punch in the face. Great article, 7 content marketing tips for when you lack time and resources. Like I said earlier, I think it's just a great article all around. Not necessarily if you lack time and resources. Content curation is just a good idea.
Great points.
Definitely.
All right, we got any what?
No what news.
No what news. All right, so that really kind of wraps up our podcast. Hey, listen, if you're interested in growing your business with the largest, simplest marketing tool on the planet,
the internet,
call eWebstyle for increased revenue in your business. Our phone number is 713-592-6724. If you have a referral, so a client who needs internet marketing, you send them to us, they pay their bill, we pay you. That's called our referral program. Reach out to us for that. I am actually on air on Monday mornings at 7:30 Central Standard Time on Blog Talk Radio. The show is called Creative Biz Ideas. If you Google Creative Biz Ideas, B-I-Z, you will find us. We were filmed live here at 5999 West 34th Street, Suite 106 in Houston, Texas. We really appreciate you. It's you guys who have made us the most popular internet. Don't forget her back there. Oh, you were pointing right now. Thank you guys so much, and gals so much, for making us the most popular internet marketing podcast on iTunes. Until the next podcast, my name is Chris Burks.
Charles Lewis.
Bye-bye for now.
All right.